Alright, so this was the final round of Swiss. Going into the round, I knew I was live for top 8 with a win. I thought my breakers were on the medium side, but medium good. But the problem is I had medium good breakers for an X and 2, whereas I would much prefer to have medium good breakers as an X and 1 if I was going to sneak in on tiebreakers. But till the event's over, you either gotta play to win or drop, so I'm playing to win. My opponent here, LB Live. On Goldfish, they had a couple of strange lists. Basically Jund piles. Minsk and Boo and Creatures and Green Sun Zenith. Just that looks really bad. But I wasn't going to hard read off of 2 lists from last week, a league and a challenge, so it could be anything. They played Esper Tinker previous, so their range is pretty wide. And I have a decent hand. I mean, if they're on some sort of Wasteland pile, like I'm insulated against it. I like being insulated against Wasteland. I'm going to get to see 2 or 3 more cards before my next turn starts, unless I'm forced to Flusterstorm. So I think this hand is a keep. And this bauble actually lets me, I think I can target my opponent with this bauble and get a little bit more information on my consider. I see Flusterstorm. I think it's possible with Flusterstorm already in hand, maybe I'd want to wait and bauble them on their turn. But it doesn't matter that much. And I think about considering now, given that they have a Flusterstorm and they're unlikely to be a turn 1, I need to have Fluster up myself, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to make the safe play. And Saga. So this is scary, but it's not insurmountable. They didn't do anything with all that mana. So I consider. Dig. I think I can bin that. Yep. And get a land. Okay. And Ancestral. This is sick. Okay. So I know they've got Fluster in their hand. I know we're going to Wasteland this Saga. And I think we're going to fire off this Ancestral on their turn. I would be a lot more interested to wait on this Ancestral if... Sorry, they vamped to end of turn 2. Interesting. Couldn't do anything about that. I would be much more interested to wait on this Ancestral if I didn't know they already had a Flusterstorm in hand. But being that they can basically... If I open the window for them to fight over this Ancestral, it may be very difficult for me to fight back. Interesting. So what was my thinking there? Well, I guess if they vamped... if they had... they vamped for Tinker and had land Tinker. I think that was what I was thinking about. Because that's one of the things that I can... I could Fluster and for it to matter. And I guess if I know they are untapping with a vamp card, I need interaction up. I kind of like that. As long as this Ancestral hits the yard the turn my Dreadhorde Arcanist is able to attack, I think I'm okay. Honestly, as long as this Ancestral is resolving regardless, I think I'm okay. But interesting. And now they just pass. So did they vamp for Urza's Saga? I actually think they might have. They've got a really powerful Saga draw here. But I mean, I don't know. That doesn't strike me as very good. They maybe just don't have a blue source either. So, Ancestral. It resolves. Okay, well, Yahtzee. Now let's see what's up. Get Probe. Interesting. Flusterstorm, Brainstorm, Scalding Arrows. They have the blue source too. It may be... I don't understand this saga here. There surely was a better card they could have gotten. I mean, they can't... Yeah, I don't know. Lotus doesn't really do it. Lotus... So, yeah, maybe. Maybe just Ancestral. Tarn. Fetch up a blue source Ancestral yourself. I don't know. Okay, well, we're going to Mishra's Babble and Time Walk. Untap. Oh, so fast. All right, well, what we did was expressive iteration, ended up with a Jet, and played a Dread over Arcanist of the land. And now I don't see how this game could possibly go sour. We know there's a Hull Breacher on top, so that's good to know about. Even if it's not really going to be relevant here. So we attack. This is just cashing in the Ancestral. So they make a construct instead of playing the Hull Breacher. Maybe the Hull Breacher's on top of their deck still. Actually, don't remember that. But either way, they make the construct and I dress down. And then I'm probably gonna strip mine the Saga. Oh, I already played a land, so I can't strip mine the Saga. Interesting. So I probably made a mistake at some point along the way here. If this is how it's being sequenced. Yeah, I should not have played the land first. I think I wanted to do it so I could make sure to resolve the flashback Ancestral, but there's just the likelihood that I'd want to strip mine, I think, is too high. And I counter the iteration. I just don't care about the iteration. I'm just trying to clear cards out of my hand. Okay, we're going to speed through this a little bit. They get a construct. Hull Breacher. I force the Hull Breacher. And here, is this lethal? Deterministic lethal? Not yet, because I have Brain Freeze and Breach, but no way to make mana. But we're real close, and we have a lot of mana also. We're going to start by just cashing in a card. Oh, we have Lurrus this turn. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, this is sweet. Okay, so we bring it back to Lurrus, play Breach, play Time Walk, untap, Lurrus, Breach, Time Walk. Yeah, this is my favorite shit. And this time it was lethal because we drew the Black Lotus. So, pretty cool. Breach into Lurrus into Breach combo kill. And game 2 of round 8. So sideboarding. I brought in the one spree again. Again, it's gone in and out of the deck in this spot. I brought out the island. I think I've realized at this point that I could just board out the island rather than one of the color sources. Boarded down on a bauble. And I boarded up on a swords. Boarded out a consider, boarded out a ledger shredder. Left out a Flusterstorm, left in the tinker, I mean the force of negation. I think I'm just making decisions at random. I need to tighten that up a little bit. So this hand is pretty good. It's covered on a couple of axes with the misstep. and the Force and the Fluster. It's got a Dreadhorde Arcanist if I can find any sort of action, and I've got a Scry off the Bauble, so I think I keep this. Bauble myself and see a Shattering Spree. Well, we don't want that. I think I should get an island, a volcanic island here. Yep. Draw Brain Freeze. Okay. Nothing happens. That's a good draw. And we go Shields down on the Arcanist. They trade an Abrade for it. I feel good with that as well. As long as I don't get taken advantage of on this turn cycle, I'll feel fine with that exchange. This is a little scary though, because I'm fine tapping out for a 3-mana turn, but this is starting to get scary because now they can have Pyro up for their 3-drops. I think I have to counter this, and I choose the Flusterstorm. Yeah, I think that's good because this Misstep protects me against Pyroblast. It just is really bad against Flusterstorm. And I know as soon as I fetch the Underground Sea, I'm thinking, God damn it. Okay, so now I'm behind this Narset, and it finds the Pyroblast. That's bad. Okay, well, I'll do the same thing. Time Walk. My Time Walk's a lot worse because I didn't even get to play a land. It's, you know, not even an Explorer. I'm gonna draw Ragavan. So I can dash the Ragavan into the Narset. And it's, you know, it's worth a card. Actually, I mean, that's a pretty good thought tease. I could play the Dreadhorde Arcanist. There's just no food for it. I think I want to dash the Ragavan. And I need to get this Narset off the board at some point, but I don't have any card draw yet, so it's not super urgent. It's getting more urgent. Lotus into Dig through time. Yeah, and this is my equity here is minuscule. Demonic, Ancestral. I mean, at least I get to misstep that, but I know they have the Pyroblast in hand, so I probably shouldn't have even misstepped it. But I mean, maybe I just have to cut through the Pyroblast. I don't know. So I probably should let the Ancestral resolve, because if misstep is trading for a Pyroblast no matter what, I would rather be the one countering their Pyroblast. Yeah, so I think that's a clear blunder. Okay, I'm ignoring the Narset here because I just need to. I need something, you know. Even something as simple as exiling their Manifold Key as a value from your. But there are cards that I could hit that I think would be very, very good. Whereas the Narset isn't even stopping me yet from drawing cards. Not to mention this unlocks some mana on a future turn. Whoops. Okay, well, I play the Ragavan. Dash the Ragavan. And this time it gets bolted. Okay, well, there goes that dream. Okay. And here, my opponent traded a Force of Will for the Dreadhorde Arcanist. I didn't Red Blast. Why didn't I Red Blast? Maybe I'm saving it for the Narset? Maybe I'm saving it for Tinker? I think I should have Red Blasted, because then I can attack with blowout. Yeah.
think I fumbled this one.
I don't think it would have mattered because they killed me after untapping. But I think I fumbled this one. That Red Blast, I think, should have forced through the Dreadhorde Arcanist, because I think what I was doing was saving the Red Blast for either their follow-up threat or their Narset as a worst case. But that Red Blast can hit that Narset coming back from the Dreadhorde Arcanist if I cast it first. So I think I fumbled this one. And obviously once they resolve Yogg-Will, this game is over. We played it out a little bit because they do have a Mana Crypt. But spoiler alert, they found a Tinker. So, all right, round 8, game 3. This is for, turns out, all the marbles, but I mean, I'm playing for what I think is my tournament life. And we have this hand. What the hell is this hand? This hand's fantastic, right? Force, multiple action spells. Got my Breach. Got Dreadhorde Arcanist kind of tying the whole room together. I've got mana. I mean, I'm keeping this, obviously. And I can fetch up a Volk here. Don't have to worry about my mana, and I can Ponder. Ponder sees Pyroblast, Force, Jet. I think I want to keep this. I want the Jet, and I want the Pyro. Actually, I want the Force of Negation. I want all 3 of these cards. The Force of Negation is good as a pitch card for my Force of Will, because I really want to cast this Consider also. This Pyroblast is just a generally good card in the matchup. It's like Pyroblast is really what the matchup revolves around, in my opinion. A lot of the matchup. And this Mox Jet lets me play Dreadhorde Arcanist and hold up a Pyroblast. That's kind of sick. Yeah, I think this is the right way to order it too. So what this means is next turn I'll be able to play the Arcanist. This turn I can force pitching Force. And the only thing that I can't do yet is I won't have the Pyroblast next turn. Time Walk. Sure. Nothing. Okay. Okay, and I'm fine with all of this so far. Less fine about the Urza Saga. I think the Urza Saga is dangerous, but it's not a concern yet. So I play the land, play the Jet, play the Arcanist. And it's very likely now that this Arcanist is going to just run in, cast a Ponder, and then die. I think that's kind of what I'm expecting. But it just eats a Bolt. That's fine too. I mean, we are not playing. This Arcanist is not a vital part of our game plan here. Pithing Needle. Well, I have to crack the Strand. So I'm going to be casting this Consider anyway. I don't want to just get caught. Probably name Wasteland. Probably should name Wasteland. It name's Wasteland, okay. So, I'm glad I did not try too hard to answer this saga because I'm not going to be able to. Consider into Breach. A second Breach is fine, but I think having a card in the graveyard and getting something else is more valuable. And there's a Pyroblast. Interesting. We shuffled away a Pyroblast with the Flooded Strand. We drew a Pyroblast. But, end of turn. Cool. Next turn. Bailed out. Wow, that card rules. Okay. Well, we start by just casting Ancestral. And we're going to do it now. Pyro, Force, Pitch, Force. Force, Pitch, Ponder, and Pyro back. Okay. Now, I'm not loving this position if they have a Soul Guide Lantern. If they have Soul Guide Lantern, this is actually really rough because they'll eat my whole graveyard. I'll be fine going forward from it, but they'll be able to cash it in for a card. It basically it blocks my Breach without them even having to cash it in. And then if they need to, they can draw a card from it. But we'll just have to hope that they don't have one. They make a construct. They untap. I think they eat another 3 damage here. Yep. They draw and make another construct. So, first big test is what does this saga get? And it gets top. And I'm really happy about that. So top is obviously not good for me. It's not. It's kind of a problematic card here. But these construct tokens are what the clock is on. This top is not putting a clock on me. Anything greater than what these constructs already are. So we spit it. Crunch for 6. Okay. Draw Ragavan. This is a forced play. I think it's a forced play. Right? I could technically play a Ragavan as a blocker. That doesn't seem very good. I can play a Breach and do nothing. Yeah, this is just a forced play. But then the question is, do I dash Ragavan or not? And I choose to dash it. Interesting. So their last card was another Lightning Bolt. Does dashing play around that at all? No, but it doesn't hurt. I'm not going to use that jet mana anyway. Yeah, I think that's fine. I do end up a little bit exposed here to a blue card in this turn cycle. I think get a lot of looks at it. This might have broken. No. Okay, yeah. I wish I remembered how this game ended. I think from here, I am very close to winning the game. But I do need to draw a couple of cards. So from here, obviously, swords on the construct token. I think I'm incentivized to do that as soon as possible. I have Pyroblast to cover their first scary card off of top. I think most of the scary cards are blue. And then the first thing I'm going to do once I bleed off a little of this pressure is Underworld Breach, flashing back in Ancestral Recall. And then the game is kind of trivial from there, because essentially what will happen is either that Ancestral will draw me into gas, or it draws me into essentially nothing, and I just basically have to jump through the hoop of call up Lurrus, play Lurrus, replay Breach, replay Ancestral for value, and kind of go from there. But with my opponent not having any pressure, having one additional interaction spell for their first problematic thing, and they look at 3 cards per turn, but they're looking at the 2 of the same 3 cards each of those turns. So as long as I fade once, and or protect once, I should be pretty safe here. But yeah, that's how the Swiss ended. I will spoiler alert. I snuck into top 8 on breakers. There were 2 slots for X and 2s. I got the second of the 2. I think I was very lucky too. I think the breakers had to go my way in the final round to sneak into 8th versus 9th, but we take those. So I will stop here and come back for one more round in the quarterfinals.